How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. This is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, all cops are bastards, and trans rights supporting channel. If you're not supporting that shit, get the fuck off this channel. This is Squid Game, Season 1, Episode 8, Front Man. Getting some, I mean, like not a whole episode, assumingly, but we're getting a lot with Front Man, assumingly, in this episode, then. Was not expecting that to be, like, the title of an episode or anything like that, but gonna get some inner workings of how all this shit goes on in the background. Like, again, we have answers to pretty much everything now, but the main thing we still don't know is, like, how does this go out to people? Like, the VIPs gave us a little bit better of an idea of that, but we still don't really know, like, why they started doing all this is, you know, definitely a big one. Like, we don't really know why, assumingly for the VIPs and everything, but usually there is, like, another underlying reason. And yeah, so I'm curious if it's just going to be for, you know, the VIPs, or if there's going to be, like, it doesn't have to be, but a lot of times there is, like, another secondary underlying reason behind it all. But yeah, I think that's all I really, you know, am questioning right now. It's just really the big grand scheme of things, like why, in the grand scheme of things, they're doing this. But for the most part, I feel like we know pretty much everything, for the most part. There's not a whole lot of mystery left. So, let's see what we're going to get in this episode. Are they going to introduce the last game at the end of this episode, or are they going to wait until next episode to introduce it? My guess is going to be, at the end of this episode, they're going to head out to do the last game. But we're not going to get to it yet. Okay, so this is going to be a really easy one to talk about, but yeah, first of all, no idea how on earth they would possibly play Squid Game at the end. No idea how it's going to work, so I'm going to go off on a limb and say that's not going to be what's played. The Squid Game thing was a huge misdirect, I'm guessing. I don't know why, but I cannot see a way in which Squid Game can be played there at the end, because you have to do the linking hands and everything, right? I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that before I watch the next episode, that little bit at the beginning of episode 1. But, yeah, I don't see how that'd be possible, so it's gotta be something else. Then, I mean, just the fact that this episode is mostly not a lot of talking and just a lot of staring at each other and just grieving and dealing with the extreme events of last episode and now this episode as well. Sae-byeok knew that I really was holding out hope that maybe they could do a thing where her and Ji-hoon wins, but no, this makes sense. Everything's rigged from the start. She could not have made it out. They were gonna have to have one person die here, so that way they'd have two people for the finale. And, like, even from a story writing perspective, I understand let's not have her get killed in a game. Let's have her get killed just by nature of the shitty situation, just by nature of she was the one closest towards the glass when it all exploded, and that's really why she dies. It's it's the most, bullshit of things, but that's life as well. And again, it makes sense to have her die from it was rigged from the start. You were never gonna be able to do this. They weren't gonna let you. I would find it. It's going to be very interesting next gamble, because it feels like they very, very clearly want Sung-woo to win. So how are they going to have Ji-hoon win? Because, maybe Ji-hoon's going to win because the policeman's going to come back and mess things up when they were going to, do that. Because it does seem like they really want Sung-woo to win here. And, they are gaming for him to win. Not in an extreme way or anything like that, but it definitely feels like if the winner is someone who becomes a part of the organization, I don't know why they would let Ji-hoon win. It feels like now knowing that, it feels like, okay, now I get it. They're really trying to make Sung-woo win. We also have Policeman's brother, who is, the front man, got that whole reveal. The winners then become part of the organization, as I just said, and everything. But, we're also having this, he's going through a crisis there at the end because he, shot his brother to death, and definitely not to death. But, no sympathy for this guy. Absolutely no sympathy for this piece of shit. I'm so curious as to where this, policeman detective story is going to go, because yeah, right now it's kind of uneventful. As it's been for the entire run, it's been uneventful. So I'm curious if that's going to, again, as I've been saying for the past 8 episodes, is that going to matter in any way? So far, it has not affected the outcome of anything. So, but it feels like we're building and building and building to it affecting something in a very big way. And yeah, I'm surprised that it's taken 8 episodes for a lot of this stuff to come to heads that I thought was going to happen way, way, way sooner. Like the policeman getting shot, or like Sae-byeok dying, or like Ji-hoon and Sung-woo having that big, like, clash, the big divide in them and everything. And, like, yeah, like, I was not expecting that to take so long to get there, and then when it did, we've gotten to such boiling point already that once they get to that point, it's already like Ji-hoon's like, alright, I'm gonna go kill him. It's time for me to take this knife and drive it into him. Like, we're already at that point, and that is crazy to me. Like, we've gone so far in such a short amount of time. Honestly, in general, like, I'm gonna talk about it way more after the final episode, but, like, it is, like, so interesting to me. Like, this game, unlike 90% of death games, the game aspect of it it's interesting and it's very entertaining, but it is way, way, way less compared to everything else in the show. Like, all the human drama in the show, all the in-between the game stuff is so much better than any of the game stuff. It is the best sort of, like, maybe not the best death game stuff I've seen, but, like, again, it goes so heavy on the themes of death games and capitalism and all that shit that I can't help but absolutely dig it way more than the games themselves. Whereas, you know, I feel like most other death games do, they, like, you know, well, we're gonna touch on a lot of the human stuff and a lot of the metaphors and symbolism and stuff in the games itself, and just spend a long time on the individual games and the like, mindset that they're going through into those games. But I do think it is a little bit more realistic that in those games, you're probably not going through a lot of mindsets, and you're probably just thinking about survive, 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 survive. And then at the end, when it's a cooldown time, that's when your mind is racing about all the stuff that just happened, all the stuff that you just did, and all that stuff. But, you know, I like them both. I like them both equally. I don't like one more than the other, but yeah, it's an interesting, you know, difference. But yeah, I love Ji-hoon. I love the old man so much. I don't know, like, Ji-hoon, Il-nan, and Sae-byeok are absolutely my top 3 characters, but I don't know how I would arrange them. I don't know what way I would rearrange them. Like, I don't think Sae-byeok's first. I do think it is Il-nan is first, then Ji-hoon, then Sae-byeok. But they're so close. They're so close together. They're like 3 amazing, amazing characters. They're gonna live on in my head for a long, long time to come. The whole, like, dinner thing that they did and everything was so fucking just sadistic, and oh man. I'm not sure how much I had to say about it. Just, like, what a fucking sadistic thing to do. Like, just sit them down there at a table where they're all staring at each other, eating this food. Alright, I will see you guys for the finale. Until then, get the fuck out of here.